Hello, everybody. This is Rena Michaelis, and this is part two of Fear of Going to Hell. And part two is this. Like I said in the previous video, is that like my experiences with the picture of Dorian Gray is similar to Hunter Avalon's experience of A Letter from Hell. And the thing is, it's a scary book. But there's something I just noticed when I finished the book. You are left feeling fear and terror, or at least I did. At least I felt fear, terror, and petrified. I felt, quite frightened after reading that book. But what I didn't feel, and this is the biggest problem is I didn't feel love. And it just seems like the similarities between Christianity and radical Islam, even though I'm pretty sure I angered a lot of people by comparing Christianity and radical Islam, is that it's all about fear. You could easily have Basil go, "Come on, Dorian, let's pray to Allah." Dorian, let's pray to Allah. Do you want me to shaitan? Shaitan is what the Muslims call Satan. Let's go to pray to Allah. It scares you. I mean, have Dorian Gray be about Islam, whereas Islam and Dorian Gray should pray to Allah and convert to Islam and to start reading the Quran and follow all of it. And I mean, it may offend you, but it's true. I mean, the Quran and the Bible are similar. I mean, the Bible does condemn gay people to death. The Bible also, I think it condemns atheists to death. So, there are, similarities between the Bible and the Quran. So yeah, it's kind of like you're left feeling fear when you finish reading the picture of Dorian Gray, but you don't feel any love. You can't say that you read the book and you are overwhelmed with love and you felt love in your hearts and you had this warm feeling. You feel like laughing and giggling because even when I visit churches, I have church hopped before. So I'm going to talk about church hopping. Churches are all about the fear of Satan. Churches is all about fearing Satan and fearing hell. God, unless it's the wrath of God, or, being punished by God. God is hardly ever mentioned. Christianity is all about scaring people. That's the reason why, they promote A Letter of Hell. Because it's like, wish you were here. It's all about scaring you. It's all about scaring you. The picture of Dorian Gray, it's all about scaring you. It's all about making you feel fear. But you don't love God. You're afraid of Satan. You're afraid of hell. And here's what I mean. How many of you have heard this before? Tell me if you heard this line. If hell didn't exist, and this is how it goes. If hell didn't exist, I would do drugs. If hell didn't exist, I would cheat on my wife. If hell didn't exist, I would sleep with multiple girls. If hell didn't exist, some people said they would murder somebody. There are people, and every atheist has heard it. Every atheist has heard it. You could go to church, and sometimes the preacher said it. My mother's preacher said it. My mother preacher said, my mother's preacher said, if hell didn't exist, I would do drugs. If hell didn't exist, I would cheat to my wife. And it's kind of a lot like, you don't love God. It's almost like a confession that you don't love God and you don't really care about God. Everything you do is based off fear of hell, and the fear of hell is preventing you from doing all the things you actually want to do. And it seems like if the fear of hell prevents you from doing all the things that you want to do, then it seems like you're naturally a horrible person. I'm just saying, like, you need hell to exist to do the right thing. Why can't you do the right thing without the fear of hell? Like, could you believe that hell doesn't exist and still be loyal and faithful to your wife? Could you believe that hell doesn't exist and still stay away from drugs? I mean, there are medical reasons to stay away from drugs. I mean, they do screw over your body. So there are plenty of medical reasons to stay away from drugs because, it ruins your appearance. It could cause premature aging, premature balding. It could dry out your skin. I mean, it can make your teeth fall out, so it's kind of like there are really good reasons to avoid doing drugs aside from, I'm afraid of going to hell. So yeah, there are plenty of reasons to not do any drugs. And I mean, if you need a rational excuse to not cheat on your wife, how about spreading STDs? If you cheat, I mean, do you intend to ask the woman if she's been tested? Are you going to say, have you been tested before cheating on your wife? And before sleeping with your wife again, are you going to get tested to make sure you don't give her anything? So it's kind of like there are secular reasons not to cheat on your wife. There are secular reasons not to do drugs. But it's kind of like, well, if hell did not exist, I would cheat on my wife. If hell did not exist, I would do drugs. If hell didn't exist, I would do all of these horrible things. To me, the fact that you want to do all of these horrible things makes you a horrible person. I mean, I'm glad that the fear of hell prevents you from doing it, but you sound horrible anyway because you want to do it, you know. When really there are atheists out there that don't cheat on their wife because they don't want to cheat on their wife because it's a horrible thing to do. So they seem more moral to me than you do. You're doing it because you are trying to avoid punishments. They don't do it because they respect the person that they're with. So in the end, the atheist seems more moral to me. And that's the thing, heaven and hell is carrots and stick. You either do something for a selfish reason, as in you want to go to heaven, or you do something out of this boogeyman that is Satan. That is what Satan is. He's a boogeyman. He's a creature that scares you. And hell is like boogeyland. The boogeyland, that's hell. It scares you and it frightens you. And the sad thing is, fear does bring out the worst in the people. There's the Salem witch trials, the European witch trials. There's all the horrible things that happen to gay people in those gay conversion camps. There's all of those people who've been unfairly executed because of Christianity. There's the Satanic Panic era where many innocent teachers lost their jobs because of the Satanic Panic era. Think about all the horrible things that Christianity has come. Why fear? Fear brings out the worst in people. When you are afraid, you are not at your best. You're not at your best. That's the reason why gay people have their horror stories about being brutally beaten up by Christians, to the point that they commit suicide because Christians have been a terror to them. Or stories about Christians throwing rocks at atheists and whatnot. The fear of hell scares you so much that you treat other people so horribly and terribly, and it's just not right. It's just not right. What you're doing is wrong. You're hurting people. Fear makes people do terrible things, and people are at their best when they feel this love and this warmth in their hearts, live and let live. And if it doesn't hurt anybody, do what you want, live, let live, let love people, forgive people, and if somebody's not hurting you, don't hurt them. And, you know, I mean, the way I view it, and this may sound strange, you know, people should think, in my opinion, why they love their dogs so much. People love their dogs a lot more than they love other people. People could hate their other people, but people could love their dogs. And think about why you love your dog, even though it can't talk to you or understand you. And your dog is always smiling. Your dog is always happy. Your dog doesn't judge you. Your dog comforts you when you're sad. Then, your dog could be altruistic. Well, learn from your dog. You know, dog spelled backwards is God, So learn from your dog. I mean, it was just something I just thought about. I know it sounds strange, but it's just something that I noticed that, people could say that 99% of the world is full of jerks, but people could love their dogs more than anything. And it's because your dog doesn't judge you. And your dog is happy to be around you. And you're happy to be around your dog. You don't try to indoctrinate your dog. You don't try to force your dog to be a Christian or force your dog to be a Muslim. So you could really, learn from your dog. And if you learn from your dog, your relationship with other people would probably be a lot more pleasant. Well, those are my 2 cents. Bye, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Peace.